Hey peeps, it's JJ with Baby Girl Crafting. Thanks for joining me for my first episode of Learn With Me Crochet. Now, to explain what this is, I am definitely not an expert at crochet. I am learning myself. Today's episode, I have a little bit of a one-up on you in the sense that I've been now doing this stitch for the last 3 weeks. But the concept of this is that as I start to learn a new stitch, then we can learn together. I can share some of the things that I have learned along the way, and then hopefully you guys can share some things and make some corrections for me down in the comments section. So today, what we're doing today is we are going to be making a granny square, just a basic granny square using the double crochet stitch. So this is really for those of you who have never done crochet but want to. I learned to do crochet when I was like 8 or 9. My grandma was teaching me, but I don't remember any of it. Like, I don't remember the stitches. So I've done single crochet off and on, and I get so frustrated with it because my stitches are not right. And I finally decided I needed to do something. So I saw granny squares on a YouTube video, and I've seen a few since then, but I don't remember who exactly, like, this is something just I picked up from watching a ton of videos and reading my crochet books, which I have a few now. So I went ahead and decided, you know, maybe there's somebody else out there who just feels self-conscious about it and wants to do it with somebody who's also learning how to do it. So I decided to do this series, and we'll be doing different stitches. I already know what we're going to do. Single crochet next week, and my concept is that I am not the type of person who just wants to sit there and crochet and then take it out and then crochet and not have anything to show for it. I want to do something with it. So for the that's why I decided the granny squares, and my first granny squares were not very pretty. I'll put some at the end of the video if you want to see. They're not all that pretty. But they've gotten better, and I'm getting better. I still have a long ways to go, and I figure practice is the way to do it. So that's going to be the idea, is that as you follow along with this, that each episode will present a project that emphasizes that particular stitch that you can work on and practice. So I went with the double crochet granny square, and I told my husband that for Christmas he's getting an Afghan, or a blanket, or whatever you want to call it. But basically it's going to be with a bunch of granny squares put together. Now the granny square we're going to make today is just going to be 4 rows, but I don't know if you count the chain stitch, so chain stitch 5 rows, but or the core. See, I don't know all the terminology, so if you know how that counts at the end, you know, when you watch the video, tell me if it's 4 or 5 rows. I only have to worry about counting the ones with the actual stitches, not the center ring that we make, the chain stitches in the middle. So terminology is not my thing, and I'm working on that, and that's where we're going to go from here. So that's why hopefully we're doing this together, and you guys can help me with what you know and what I know. But the one thing I've found with granny squares is that they have a lot of forgiveness. So if you make mistakes, you can keep kind of going on. I have made so many mistakes. I'll get to the end and realize that I skipped a section, like didn't do enough stitches or whatever. And I do mine 7 rows out, so that they're about 12 inches. Is it 12 inches? Maybe 10 inches. So that I've got, my squares are about 10 by 10. But today we're just going to do 4 rows out. And because it's a lot easier to handle, I do find that when they get bigger, I'm not quite ready to make an entire Afghan yet, because an Afghan is much larger, and I haven't gotten the grasp of holding all that fabric. All right, so let's get started. We're going to switch over here, and we're going to see how this works. Okay, I'm going to have to move for just a sec. So what we're using is this Bernat Pop, and I'll let you see that. It is worsted weight medium, and it says to use a 5mm crochet hook. What I am using, this is a crochet hook I got from my Darn Good Yarn box. If you watch my Darn Good Yarn unboxings, you'll see that I got this. It doesn't tell me what it is, but I think it's a 5.5. That's my guess, and I've never gauged it, so I'm not positive. All right, This is going to be awkward because I'm doing it with my arms out as opposed to pulled in. But the first thing we're going to do is make our slip stitch or put it on our hook. The way I do it is I take my 2 fingers, I wrap it around and then put it so that the string goes over and to the back, and then I reach under, reach under, and then I'm going to grab that stitch or that thread and pull it through, which is a lot easier when I can. Okay, then that pulls it through. Then you're just going to tighten it up. So I'm not sure if that showed. Let's do that one more time just so you can see. Okay, so I wrap it around my 2 fingers. I'll do it this way. So it crosses, and so this string or this thread crosses over on that and under, and pull it closed. Alright, so then we tighten that up just to the width of the gauge. Just a moment. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, and there are different ways to do this. This is how I've started doing it. I've done a few different ways, but now this is the way I'm doing it. Okay, so I do 4 chain stitches. So 1, 2, and to do that, I should tell you, is we're just going to go yarn over, which is just putting your hook under and around, and then pull it through the little loop you've got. So that was 3, and that's 4. Now we're going to do a slip stitch, which is a little more awkward from here. So we're going to go under the 2, or through the first chain stitch that we did, and then we're just going to do a slip stitch. Pull it through the first, that stitch, and then pull it through the other. Oops. And that's okay if it falls off. Just put it back in, kind of gauge where you're at. Okay. This is probably the trickiest part I find. But the thing with this is this has helped, by practicing this, this has helped me get better at holding my hook, helped my stitches be a little bit more even, and I've learned how to hold my thread in tension. So that's been good, because that's one of the things I struggle with, and we'll probably go over that in a different video. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're just going to do stitches. If you open up, see if you can see that, there's a hole in the middle. We're going to do everything that we do now is going to go into that hole. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do 3 double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, go through the hole, yarn over, pull it through, just through the hole, and now we have 3 loops on our hook. Okay, then we're going to yarn over and pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through 2. You can see I'm struggling, partly because I'm not used to holding my thread out. Okay, I gotta do that one over again because I split my stitch. So I'm just gonna put it back in, grab my yarn, and go through. Does not want to go through there. All right, there we go. So there we have, and oh, and hold on. See, I already made a mistake. That's where making mistakes is okay. So if you're watching this, hopefully you didn't, well, you would have made the same mistake as me, where I'll make a note in the video to not follow me yet. Okay, so we're going to start over. I'm getting ahead of myself. First, we're going to do chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's part of why I was having some problems, because we need 3 chain stitches so that we can get the height up here. So, because a double crochet is 3 chain stitches up. So those are just chain stitches. Now we're going to do the double crochet, which is yarn over, go through the loop, yarn over, and then we're going to pull through, and then yarn over and pull through. Alright, now that chain 3 counts as one of our chain stitches, or as one of our double crochets. So now we have 2, and we're going to do groups of 3. So yarn over, go through the loop, or through the hole, and then we're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that leaves us with 1 loop. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, I'm having a hard time with my tension. So we're going to have to work on that. All right, I'm going to pause right here because my camera is way too high. I need to bring it down. Okay, so let's see how this works. Still too far up. Okay, so here we go. So what we've done is we did chain 3, then 2 more double crochets into the center hole, and that makes one of our groupings. Then we're going to do a chain 3, and this is going to make our corner, and you'll see that in a minute. Now this is my tail, and you can just leave that. You can forget the terminology, but basically you can sew that in the end. I have officially learned in some cases how to stitch over it so I don't have to. So you'll see me do that just out of habit. Alright, so we're going to do 3 more double crochets. So yarn over, and bring through the center. So now we have 3. And then we're going to pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Alright, now we're going to do 2 more double crochets. Yarn over, through the center, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, through the center, yarn over, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Alright, so now we've got our second set. And just, I find that I have to scoot these over because we have to fit 2 more sets in here. But now we're going to do the corner, which is 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. Whenever we get to a corner, we're going to do chain stitches. 3 chain stitches. Alright, so now we're doing our double crochet. So I yarn over through the center, bring through, make sure. I still have to check or adjust my tension a lot. I haven't gotten used to that yet, but I'm working on it. And then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so that was another one of our that's the first one in the 3rd set. So we're going to do 2 more. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through 2, pull through 2. 1 more. Now please keep in mind, I'm a beginner too, so this is just you and me figuring this all out together. And then we've done our 3rd set, and there's 3 in there. So now we're going to do chain 3. And this is pretty cool because if you look at it, we're starting to see we have 3 sections of a square. Alright, this is where it gets fun because now we don't have a lot of room. So just kind of screwed it over and it's going to fit in there. So yarn over, pull through, then we're going to pull through 2. Oops, that one's loose. So you got to watch your tension. Yarn through, yarn over. Your tension is got with this hand. Now the way that I'm actually much better with my tension than I'm being right now, but because I'm doing this like way out from my body, it's kind of hard. And I hold mine, I run the string through my pinky. Oh, like my blue fingers, I dyed my son's hair. and it stained me. And I was waiting a couple days. I've been waiting a couple days to do this video, and finally I decided it's not coming off anytime soon, so I'm stuck with it. Alright, so back to what I was saying. For my tension, I run the thread over the pinky and then over my pointer finger. And then most of my tension is, I've seen people hold it like this. I haven't figured out how to do that. It's uncomfortable for me. So I hold a lot of my tension through here. And my pinky. So, alright, so where are we at? We've done 2 double crochets, so we're going to do 1 more double crochet. And see how it's so much looser right here? Now you can undo that and do it again, or I would probably undo it and do it again, but I'm going to show you how forgiving a granny square is. So we'll leave it for now. We're going to do chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch. We're going to count to the top of our chain 3 that we did here. So we have 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here, and 1 stitch here. We're going to go through there, and we're going to pull it through there, and pull it through again. So now we only have 1 stitch. Now that is our first row. So you can see we already have a mini square, which is kind of fun. Alright, so now to go to a new row, we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to do our first double crochet. Now this is where it gets a little tricky, and I'm going to have to show you the way I do it. I'm going to have to show you the way I do it because I saw many different ways to do it. But the way I do it is I do a double crochet, and I'm going to go back in the same square where I just did the chain 3. And I'm going to do a double crochet and a second double crochet. Alright. So it looks a little weird because it's kind of off-centered at this point, but I find for me it helps me keep track of where my stitches were. Like I knew that this was this ending and the beginning, and this would be the ending at a corner. And so I liked it this way, but it actually works out really, it looks just fine in the end. So I'll show you that when we go around. Alright, so this is not a corner. This is a space where we have another set. So all we're going to do here is chain 1. And then we're going to go to the next whole space over here, and we are going to chain, or then we're going to do 3 double crochet. So 1, 2, and 3, okay, so I kind of scoot this over. Now you're thinking, I'm at the edge. What's going to happen? But what we're going to do is turn a corner. So imagine that you're turning a corner with these 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then I kind of turn my work. And we're going to go back into that same hole. And we're going to do 3 more double crochet. It helps if you do the double crochet properly. Yarn over through the hole, go through 2, go through 2, yarn over, grab your loop, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And that is 2. So we're going to do 1 more, and then I'll show you how the corner looks. Okay. So see how we did that? Even though those are in there, it turned the corner. Those 3 stitches right there really help create a corner there. Now, this is where we have we're in the midway, so we have a set here. So we're going to only do 1 single chain stitch. Then we're going to do a double crochet into the next big hole, which is the corner in this case. And we're going to do a double crochet. So do 3 double crochets. And it's always good to count how many you've done. So like I did 3, 1, 2, 3. I kind of scoot them over. And then you're going to do your 3 chain stitches. And then you're going to do 3 more double crochets into that same section. Losing my tension. Alright? That's 2. And that's 3. Alright, so here I'm going to let you guys do the second half of the row 2, and then we'll come back when we get to here. But you're going to, this is a space, so you're only going to do 1 single crochet, then you're going to do, not a single crochet, you're going to do one chain stitch, then here you're going to do 3 double crochet, 3 chain stitches, 3 double crochet, and then you're going to do 1 single chain stitch for here. Then we'll come back and do these last 3 double crochets together. I needed that little break. This leaning over and doing this is difficult. For my next one, for my next video, I'm going to definitely have a different setup. But if you've done this, you have done your corners, your single your chain stitch right here, and now we're going to do 3 double crochets into this last section. So that's 1 and 2. This is also, for me, I'm using that Burnett Pop, and this is a thicker worsted weight than I've been using, so this is a little chunkier than I'm used to using, so that's affecting how I'm holding the yarn a little too. But that's it. That's why I've been using a lot of different yarns, all with worsted weight, the medium weight, the 4, but they're all different, and so you kind of want to make sure when you're doing a project that you find yarn that is similar in weight. But also by doing this, by practicing these granny squares, I have been able to practice with different yarn types, and that's been fun. So we've done our 3. We're going to do 3 chain stitches. Almost forgot my corner there. Now we're going to go, and I use my thumb in such a weird way, so you'll find your own style. But right now, I find that this hook, I've worn it off so much that it has a hard time hooking. I'm gonna need to switch to another hook, but I kind of want to keep using this hook because that's the one I started with, and then I know that I've got the same gauge on everything. But we're going to do our final chain, or we're going to do a slip stitch to close up this row. So we've count up to our 3rd chain stitch, stick it in, pull it through, and then pull it through both. So now we're back to having 1 thread on, and you can see it's kind of hard with my needle there, or my hook there, that now it still looks like a square. It looks good. So as good as a beginner can look, right? And we're going to do chain 3. Okay, so we chained 3, and back into that same hole right here, we're going to do a double crochet. Alright, and I'm going to have to pause for a sec and get me some more yarn. This is a brand new ball, so it's a little tight. So we'll put it over there. Okay, now remember we're going to do 3 double crochets, but that chain stitch of 3 counts as 1. So that's 1, 2, oops, and 3. Oops. Alright, I got to do that one again. That was way too loose. So again, tension is very important for your stitches to look even and consistent. And that's what that's why I've been using these granny squares, is to practice my consistency. Oh, sorry, I went ahead of myself. We're going to do a single, or a chain stitch right there, 1 chain stitch, since we're going for this set. We're going to do 3 double crochets into this opening. And this is not a corner. This is just in the middle of this row. So it'll just be those 3. And I got to fix my tension again. That's 2. So you might have to fix your tension a lot. I'm finding I'm having to adjust it quite a bit with me. I'm holding my arms out at arm's length almost, and so that's making it very difficult. So that's 1 chain stitch because we are just dealing with this little section. So then we're going to go into our corner and do 3. I did it again. Gotta watch those little hook when you're doing your double crochet. Make sure you put your yarn over and under, and then through 2 and through 2, yarn over, and then through 2 and through 2, and we're doing 3 of these. Kind of going off camera, sorry. And then we're going to do 3 chain stitches. And you want to kind of keep your fingers as close to there so that your stitches are consistent. I have a tendency of not doing that on my chain 3s, and it makes a difference. So we're going to do 3 more into that same hole, 3 more double crochets into the same hole, because we're making our corner of the 3rd row. So that's 1, yarn over, under, and I know I'm kind of doing it fast, but I'm doing my speed. This is fast for me, like super fast. So okay, so we've done this row now. We did half in the half where we started in this corner. We've done this whole row, and we've turned the corner. So 3 double crochets, a single stitch, 3 double crochets, a single, 3 double crochets, 3 chain stitches, and 3 double crochets. And then you're going to do that all the way around, and we'll meet back up here in the corner. Alright, so I'm back, and I've done my 3 double crochet here and my single chain stitch right there. So how are you guys doing on speed? Mine curl a little. You can fix it. Doesn't take much, you just kind of lay it out and it lays down fine. But are you guys doing it? The first granny square that I made, I think it took me like 3 hours, which is, it's kind of hard to believe that now. So if I'm going faster than you, don't beat yourself up. Because like I said, I've been doing nothing but granny squares, double crochet, for 3 weeks. And I'm still not all that great at it. So I just wanted, you just practice. This is what you're going to practice. So what we're going to do is go into the end, our corner, and we are going to do, don't forget to do your single crochet right there. And then do your 3 double crochets in this end. Okay, so yarn over, through, pull through 2, pull through 2. Now we've got 2. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Alright, so we did our 3. Can you see those? 3 separate stitches. And now you're going to chain 3. Lots of 3s in this granny square. And then we're going to go up and find our 3rd. See if we can get that. There's 1, 2, and 3 of those initial 3 chain stitches that we did. Go through and yarn over, pull through, and then pull through. So you have officially finished 3 rows. And how do I know that you've finished 3 rows? Because we can count. 1. This is how I count my rows, is I find the middle, and I go off and I find one of the 4 that are around your center, and then count up at a diagonal. So 1, 2, 3. So we've done 3. We're going to go ahead and do the 4th, and then you can tie off or you can keep going. Actually, I guess we can stop at a 3. Because I'm not going to tie off yet. I'm going to actually go ahead and do 7. And I can actually come back and show you what it looks like with after I've done the 7. So since I don't tie, what you would do to tie off is you can just pull it through and then pull it tight, cut your thread, and then weave your ends in through your stitches. But since I am not going to tie off, what I do is I just leave my, and I'm going to stop though, is I yank this one out big and I just kind of leave it there and set it aside. So there you go. Is this your first granny square ever? If so, leave a comment in the comment section below. And we'll weave this in. You'll weave that in. I'll do another video on how to weave in ends. I actually have done about... I have to do 60 of those 7-row granny stitches, or granny squares, to finish my... because I'm making a fairly large afghan. And then, yeah, sorry, thinking. When I'm done with that, I will do my ends. I haven't actually tied or woven my ends into any of my granny squares yet. So maybe I'll do a whole tutorial on how we weave in ends and stuff. But this is getting a little long. I want to try and keep these kind of short. If you have any questions or any comments, definitely looking for comments. And let me know. And I'll see what I can do to help. Thanks for checking me out. Later, peeps.